With so many people voicing their displeasure over the special finale to Wonder Egg Priority, I've been realizing that I was watching this show for pretty different reasons than most. There was an odd moment I had while listening to someone's thoughts on episode 13 when they said that the mystery hadn't been wrapped up yet, and I realized that at least a sizable chunk of people watching this show were watching it as a mystery show. They were waiting for that big reveal which would connect all of the events that had taken place prior and wrap it up in a cohesive package. But I was never particularly interested in that. To me, the appeal of Wonder Egg Priority came from its subject matter. It is about things and ideas that appeal to me as engaging storytelling devices, including but not limited to suicide, gender identity, friendship, self-isolation, and coming of age. These are all topics that have been explored in other works and in more depth, but Wonder Egg Priority is the only show that has managed to mash them all together and in a jaw-droppingly gorgeous manner to boot. I think a lot of people mistake ambiguity for depth, but they simply aren't one and the same. Wonder Egg Priority is a very ambiguous show, but it's not very deep. At least from my perspective. Characters almost always just clearly state whatever problem they or their peers face. No one's backstory or motivations are particularly complicated, and the solutions to the countless emotional hurdles that the main and side characters encounter are almost always lacking in practical applicative use. Like, yeah, it's great that you only need your friends and significant other to acknowledge your gender identity for you to feel happy and fulfilled, but what do you do when you need to use a public restroom? I don't think Wonder Egg Priority has any unique or especially meaningful takes on the issues it addresses, but it addresses them with such sincerity and at all that I don't feel the need to engage with it on anything other than a primal emotional level. The literal events that occur are not explained in much detail, however, the effects that those events have on the main characters and the things about those characters that might be relatable and or compelling to the audience, that's where the focus is. Dare I say, that is the show's priority. When I finished episode 12, I was completely ready to give this show a 9 out of 10, even though it also left off on a cliffhanger. And that was before I knew that the special was in production. If you don't believe me, there's proof on my second channel where I made a vlog directly after finding out that the special episode would be airing on the very day that I finished watching episode 12. All of this is to illustrate that while I was excited to learn about the diegesis of the show, I mostly saw it as a vehicle for putting to screen a swath of different emotions that I am unable to express lexically. And yeah, also because this show is just stunning to look at and listen to. In fact, the presentation more than anything is what allows the show to express those emotions in such a compelling manner. While it did not have any off-the-walls action scenes, I don't think anyone would argue that the special didn't still look and sound fantastic, as well as miles above what is considered standard in the industry. And while I do think that the special would have been better with more exciting, frenetic scenes, I think it's very clear that the presentation on the whole was still extremely effective at communicating information about each scene that wouldn't have been possible to do so through dialogue. Although I have made it clear that I more so appreciate what this show does conceptually and less so literally, I also don't share the sentiment that the finale was simply a mess that resolved nothing. Everything that happened made sense, and I think that enough pieces are here to put together a diegetically sound series of events, as many people are doing. The special might not have been a climactic series of events, but the decisions that the main characters make all have a reason behind them and imply future progression that I find pretty easy to imagine. Nothing here is outright broken, it is simply inconclusive. Though, to be clear, it obviously would have been better to see that progression instead of needing to imagine it, unlike in the base show. Now, I don't think this ending does as good a job as what the base show does well, and I'd never even suggest the just take this episode on its own merits argument. This episode was made as a continuation of the rest of the show, and everyone who is watching it has the rest of the show as context. But I do think that having that context is causing a lot of people to blow out of proportion how much worse the special is from the rest of the show. I am disappointed. I was genuinely looking at this show drawing some admittedly surface level similarities to Evangelion. Incredibly impressive presentation, crossover in thematic and tonal subject matters, troubled production leading to a strange TV series finale that would be followed up by the original ending plan in a complete package. That's obviously not what I got. I don't want to excuse whoever is to blame for the obvious drop in quality here, but I think that there's a huge difference from the drop from a 9 to a 1 versus that of a 9 to a 6. I know what a 1 looks like. I know what the drop from a 9 to a 1 looks like, and this ain't it, Chief. By the way, if you're curious as to what a 1 out of 10 looks like to me, you're in luck because I just dropped an hour-and-a-half long analysis about why Rent-A-Girlfriend is exactly that. Go watch that video and tell me you hate the Wonder Egg Priority Special as much as I hate that abomination. That's what a 1 looks like to me. In comparison, this is not even close. I think what's important to take away from this situation is not to blame any one particular person that worked on this show, or act like the special was upsetting to many because of a lack of care on the creator's end. It's pretty clear that the disappointing nature of this finale is the result of production issues, and so long as I can advocate for and hopefully promote better working conditions for the people who dedicate their lives to creating art that connects with me, I really don't care about how unpopular my opinion about the final product might be. I want to give a huge thanks to a friend of mine, Select, for providing the music for this video. I'm leaving a link to his channel in the description so you can check him out. He deserves way more listeners for the quality of content and the amount of content that he makes. Also, the artist who drew the incredible fan art you've been looking at is Kross Studio 123. Thank you so much, it looks absolutely amazing. Go check them out too, link in the description. Alright, now that 90% of people have clicked off this video, I think it's time to promote my own content. Check out my Twitter where I freaked out after watching episode 10 of Wonder Egg, also where you can send me fan art whether or not you want me to use it in a video. Check out my other videos if you want to hear my voice almost as much as I do. I've got another video in the works where I'll be talking even more about Wonder Egg Priority if that strikes your fancy. And check out my Patreon to get a bunch of rewards and just support what I do. Have a wonderful day, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.